The Catholic Foundation serves all of Northeast Florida's Catholic community with vital funding and support for parishes, schools, and ministries. Making sure distance and economic challenges never deter Catholics from full practice of their faith, the Foundation has plugged gaps and met needs others could not for 30 years. The beginning of the Catholic Foundation can be traced back to the 1980s and leadership of Bishop John J. Snyder.
The Catholic Foundation is really an outgrowth of a task force report made in 1984 at the request of Bishop Snyder. And out of that financial task force that we studied came two recommendations. One, that the diocese accept a stewardship program for all parishes and to become an integral part of our Catholic faith. Along with that came a recommendation that we have a stewardship director, from which we got Dutch Schultz.
Dutch was absolutely critical to this, a sense of a foundation, stewardship. As I said, I've never heard the word before Dutch came, but he sold me on it, because it's not enough to just lay a foundation, you got to build on it. And Dutch said stewardship has to be continued and sustained.
The second recommendation was that we have a foundation which would be the home for funds in perpetuity, long-term funds. A lot of people ask why they should give to an endowment when the good from it will be in the future. They'd rather give to something now that can be spent now and seen now and appreciated now. But a gift to an endowment lives on in perpetuity. Your gift lives forever. And I think that's a pretty darn good way to give, don't you? So that if I give today, just the income of that is available to our diocese or our parishes every year. And the gift goes on, and it's not a one-time gift. It's a gift every year for as long as you can imagine. And that money goes back to the special needs of our church at that particular time.
And of course, when you're talking about young people and their future, when you're talking about vocations, when you're talking about our religious, that all are so key to the hearts of Catholic people.
If I can just tell you how we defined stewardship in 1984, and it says, stewardship means support of the Lord's work to a degree honestly proportionate to one's capacity. It means support which emanates from a deep faith commitment made operative by the love of Christ. And as I read that, I thought, gee, how smart we were 35 years ago, and how well that states the whole purpose of stewardship. Faith, giving according to our capacity, faith that emanates from this deep commitment to our Christ and our church.
Our work would not be possible without the dedication and support of the Foundation's officers, board members, and contributors who have nurtured it over the last 3 decades.
Well, if you're ever asked to serve as chair of the Catholic Foundation, don't even think about it. Just say yes. You're in for the time of your life. You get an opportunity to work with the most dedicated people that I've ever seen on boards. I've served on a lot of boards, and this group of incredible Christians doing Christ's work inspires you to get out there and do everything you can for the Foundation.
Hundreds of grants have been made over the years, always targeting the greatest need and margins of our community. Projects attacking challenges caused by distance, disability, economic challenge, and cultural barriers have been #1 targets of Foundation grant funding. At the same time, pride in our Catholic heritage and faith have been a major focus when needed. Assisting the Cathedral Parish in a landmark renovation preparing for the 450th anniversary celebration is a case in point. Shortening the distance for those in the far western reaches of the diocese, the Santa Fe Shrine at St. Madeleine Parish in High Springs was a perfect match for a grant supporting faith-building and evangelization efforts. Safe, reliable transportation was a barrier to University of Florida college students doing community service Intilla Foundation grant enabled the purchase of a van for their rural parish outreach program. The Foundation's grant to St. Paul's School in Riverside made possible a unique and innovative learning program.
Our ICE Stream program stands for Individually Chosen Exploration, and this gives our students an opportunity to take classes that are not part of the traditional school day, such as math, science, and social studies. We want them learning about what they're passionate about: gardening, aviation, drama. It benefits them so many ways. You know, they're able to collaborate with their peers, they're able to meet with students in other grade levels, they're moving out of their comfort zone, they're doing something they may have never done before. They're speaking publicly, they're building and designing things, they're cooking. They're finding out what it is that they enjoy doing, and they're going to build on that. We have a lot of kids who have said, you know, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, this is my gift, and that's part of our goal of this program. We didn't want to ask kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? We want them to be happy and be successful. So the gear of this program was, what do you want to do when you grow up? The ICE program couldn't happen without the help of the Catholic Foundation. We are an old, small school, and you know, a lot of our expenses are made for the upkeep of our 94-year-old building. And to offer an elective course which requires extra materials, things that are not typical in the classroom, there's no way we could have afforded those things without the help of the Catholic Foundation. Thank you, Catholic Foundation, for the gift that you have given St. Paul's Riverside, and the 200 little blessings that are in this building. Appreciate you so very much.
These are just a few of the hundreds of vital programs in our parishes, schools, and ministries that have been supported by the Foundation over the last 30 years.
Without the Foundation, we could not create the sustainable funding to meet the ongoing and future needs of our many important resources. Thanks to Bishop John J. Snyder and pioneer members of our board of directors, we have grown the permanent funds of over 120 parishes, schools, and ministries. Thank you for remembering our beloved church in your wills and trusts. Your gifts of permanent stewardship have impacted the lives of so many in North Florida, and we cannot thank you enough.